On today's episode, awards season is finally drawing to a close as we go over the recently announced Academy Award nominations. Let's get started.
This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
And we're back with Off the Break Podcast. I'm Cody, and with me are Kyle and Erik.
Snubs. All the snubs. There's so many Oscar snubs.
Oh, I
Not
know.
wrong.
So many.
It's
Not
our
wrong.
Oscar edition. We get to talk about it finally.
Hey.
Yeah, we're fine. Eric's just done. He doesn't even care
Hey,
anymore.
I'm so dedicated to this conversation. I came in with a slight case of pink eye that I got from my 3-year-old
Yeah,
just to
it's
talk to you
looking
guys
bad from
today.
Here, everyone.
You didn't wear
It's
sunglasses.
not that
You said you were
bad.
going to wear sunglasses inside.
Oh, I did wear them.
Oh, now she's gonna look cooler than the rest of
There.
us. Yep, we now know who the
That's
star is of
That's
Off the Break.
My sunglass shield.
No,
It's so bright in here. Somebody get me a drink.
It's dark.
Cody's always saying she needs to
It's not
drink
actually
on this
sick, just
podcast.
hungover.
Yeah. No one knows I'm in my sunglasses inside.
Nobody can see. But yeah, Oscars. They're finally here.
It felt really long. This journey that we've all been
It gets
on together.
longer every year.
It's just been a heck of a ride.
Mm-hmm.
I've enjoyed doing it with you both, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the Oscars to happen now because it has
It's
felt
especially
very
long, at least in my case, when none of the best picture nominees you're like especially passionate about,
Yeah.
which kind of I've realized is kind of the case for me this year.
I think same with other people.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I can recognize that they're great movies, but there's a difference between being able to recognize a great movie and being really personally moved by it, or like being able to truly say it's one of your favorites.
Yeah.
And I feel like there were more nominees last year that I genuinely really would call some of my favorite movies than this year.
Yeah,
at least
sure.
in terms of the nominees.
No, I get where you're coming from too. I think that's been the case for a lot of people. Like usually the reason why every year is because there's a 3-headed race for best picture or whatever is because those were the ones that really stand out the most to people. Here I think this is a case where they're all solid movies, but there isn't a clear cut
No, there's no clear cut, but I mean, looking at the list, I like Black Panther, I like Black Klansman, I like most of them, but I don't really, I don't love, I don't know, that's something I've been thinking about when I see them. It's like, I don't know, I just don't really care.
I can tell you're not as enthusiastic as you were last year with Shape of Water.
I mean,
Because I remember our conversations.
yeah,
and I'm like,
I loved,
that
and
movie was weird.
they're just more movies to.
He was so excited about it.
What
They're
happened
just-
to Eric?
The
Now-
best movies of the year were nominated for Best Picture.
And now
That's
we
what
have
happened.
normal
Yeah.
movies, and Erik is like, there's no fish sex in this, so I'm not interested.
No.
Uninterested.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
It didn't excite my passion.
It's been an interesting ride leading up to this, that's for sure. And I think it's gotten even more interesting, actually, now that we have all these nominations.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to digest in here.
Yeah. I mean,
Definitely.
probably just dive right in, I guess.
Yeah.
Should we drive right in with the biggest
Yeah, we'll just go from the top down.
category? Best Picture. So the nominees are Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star is Born, and Vice. So go ahead.
I was just judging the tone of how you pronounce each of those
Roma.
titles, and
I tried not to gag when I said Roma, but that's fine.
detected a little malice there. It's a good movie.
It's fine.
It's a good
Again, yeah,
streaming
it's-
video that
I mean,
was
it might
never
be
shown in
blasphemous
theaters.
to say, I mean, yeah, it's a moving film. It's gorgeously shot. It's not a movie that I can honestly say I fell in love with. I don't know. It's a really, really well done movie. Doesn't mean that it's going to be one of my favorites, even though it'll probably win.
I didn't get to see it. It didn't even come to the theater here.
the only way you can see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it. It
What a
didn't
zinger.
play in the theater here. To be fair, I didn't see some of these other ones, but they came to the theater. I just chose not to see it.
Well, you make a very good case there.
Yeah. No, I chose not to see it because I've been sick for like 6 months.
Well, this list is bizarre. I mean, don't get me wrong. The nominations aren't surprising because we've seen these names pop up for a while. But they're just interesting because these movies are, the best of the best. Like what people think are like the top movies of the year. Bohemian Rhapsody, like half of critics don't like it.
Yeah, slightly more than half. It's not a very universally acclaimed movie by any means.
I mean, sure, it is a box office hit, and that can play a part in it. Like, the people really like it. That should mean something, I suppose. But in terms of best of the best, I wouldn't say it's one of them necessarily. And the same can go with Vice. Like, Vice, I don't think it's fair to compare it to it not being as good as The Big Short. But other than that, though, like, it's still not being given that much attention. Like, there's not much love for it other than the leading actor and actress in Christian Bale and Amy Adams. But it got a whole lot of nominations here as well that I find a bit confusing for not many people liking it that much.
I mean, I already kind of gave my thoughts on it, and my thoughts have kind of evolved over time too. But I don't know. I mean, we'll get to like the best director and the other things here.
Well, let's go through some of these nominees. Black Panther. Everybody assumed it would be nominated.
Yep.
The first superhero movie to be nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, which is notable. I don't want to, shortchange that.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Cool.
Notable, but expected. Very much expected.
Yeah. And
especially after all the backlash with the
most popular
category that they were going to do.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Okay.
It seems so long ago now.
Yeah, this year was long. But yeah, especially with all that. But on top of that, it's also very political. Like it's
a topical
it's
film.
Changing the industry as well. It's very topical, and it does deserve it at the same time, though. It is a very, very good movie.
Yeah. I don't see any problems with that. I think everybody, like I said, expected it, and
it's kind of
very
like
deservedly.
a crowd pleasing.
And you want to see those in there.
Thing to see in the nominees.
They have 10 available slots. You want to see a few crowd pleasers in there.
And I guess that could be what was the reason why Bohemian Rhapsody got in there as well, is because it was such a crowd pleaser as well.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well,
but
we'll get there.
I'm with you guys though. Like I don't quite understand that.
Black Klansman, I think, was extremely topical. It's Spike Lee
I'm so
coming
happy
back
this is
to
on
the
here.
game. I
See,
feel
Black
like
Klansman's another one. It was very well done, but it's not one of my favorites of the year. I don't know. I think its most commendable accomplishment is probably why Spike Lee got nominated, is because it is able to walk an incredibly fine line between like balancing its tone, because the subject matter, but the execution of it.
Yeah,
like he's finding the comedy that's just inherent in the absurdity of the premise, but there's no like he's not afraid to like treat the serious part of the subject matter with the seriousness it requires.
Totally.
It's there's no artificial humor there. It's just the absurdity of the premise.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a very good tonal balance.
And I like to see that because it surprisingly did well commercially, and in areas I didn't think it would do well.
Okay.
And I think that a lot of people were kind of surprised by how they may have enjoyed it and stuff, and so I think
that's one of the best things about movies too. It's one of the best like methods of communication. You can get these perspectives and perspectives on these stories that some people may not take to as well otherwise, but if you can see it presented in a really entertaining movie, it might be easier to
I think it
change your mind
didn't
on some
have
things.
an outward agenda, although everybody can say it's a race relations film. There is an agenda there. It's from a black director. There's probably a perspective, but I don't think it came across that way. And I played it in a lot of places that you wouldn't think it would have played well, and it did great. And I think there was a lot of interest in the performances of it and stuff. So
John David Washington and Adam Driver are incredibly entertaining the entire time to watch.
Yes, they definitely were.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like the tonal balance is there, and it gets at very serious themes and subject matter in a way that is kind of accessible to more people, but it doesn't pull any punches, I guess.
And I just think people were really excited to see Spike Lee come back with something that was mature, not like...
Yeah, I mean, he's never been nominated before either, and so
it was
he got a lot of love here, which is really cool to see. Mm-hmm.
So our next film was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Not super excited about this.
It's a good movie, but I just don't think it's best picture worthy.
No, it's
right.
In my own personal.
It's a very
opinion.
very, like I've been always saying, you've seen this formula of biopics a billion times before, and aside from Rami. Okay, I need to internalize that. Rami.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from Rami, nothing else really, I don't know, just stands out.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, the last 20 minutes, the AIDS concert was very great to watch. But
that's because the original performance was awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
So just redo that and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. And it's really cool that they were able to do it. But I agree with you. Rami Malek's performance is...
Yeah, it made a lot of money.
Really brings the movie home.
Does one actor's performance like carry the whole picture to a best
sometimes,
picture?
Yeah, a lot of times, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I could make an argument that last year's Best Actor frontrunner Gary Oldman was what made Darkest Hour so great.
Even more so than this movie, I would say. You
Yeah.
know, the movie is literally about Winston Churchill.
Yeah, absolutely.
This movie is mostly about Freddie Mercury, but it's, about Queen. But there's a whole endlessly covered things where, the band didn't want to have their legacy tainted. And that, I feel like that ultimately comes across. It's a very safe movie that had to get the approval from so many different people that it just kind of got watered down.
You could kind of feel it in the movie as well.
Yeah. It's a nice, safe, fun time.
Mm-hmm. And people liked it. Like,
they went to the movie. They turned up at the theater.
I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I enjoyed it because the movie was so good, or Rami Malek was so good, or I just really like Queen music.
Yeah, I feel like just in the moment,
2 out of 3 of those.
I feel like in the moment, it gave most people exactly what they wanted. They probably wanted to go see a movie about Queen.
Yeah,
that's
I did. You
go. It's a movie. It's about Queen. There you go.
The music
check
makes you feel so good leaving it that stays with you.
Yeah, and see, one thing I'm always curious about is how correlated box office attendance is with like the actual lasting impact of the movie that people take away. Like, did people really love it, or did they just a lot of people happen to go see it because it's about Queen, and then afterwards, you don't think about it. I don't know.
No, that's fair. I mean, you can make that case with a lot of big budget movies.
I mean, that's like one of the longest like patterns in cinematic history. There's so many examples of movies that, you could say people didn't go see in the theater, but for a multitude of reasons, the staying power, they're just so much more remembered than the biggest movie of that year.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of times the biggest movies, the biggest box offices, people don't talk about them even as soon as the next year.
Yeah.
So
I think, and to add to your point, I think that's why I appreciate slow burner films so much.
Yeah.
The ones that come out not very big, but last so much longer. I feel like that's true quality filmmaking because it has good word of mouth.
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
were surprises.
That's a good combination of having as stigmatized as the word can be sometimes, a mainstream, approachable story or film execution married with good word of mouth that just gradually builds over time. And those are the kind of movies that,
So in the last year, I thought that Crazy Rich Asians was a perfect example of that one that grew over time and just became its own phenomenon.
It just didn't go anywhere. It was just it was always there.
It was just always there.
But it wasn't there in an obvious spotlight way. It was just every week after week. It's
it was surprising.
It's still there. Okay.
Yeah,
people are still.
I thought that was
a
good one. I don't know if any. Excuse me.
Oh no, the pink eye.
While she's dying, should we go to our thoughts on the
what
favorite?
were you going to say, though?
I don't know how long you're going to take, so feel free to take as much time as you need.
Oh my gosh, something shot the back of my throat.
She's got pink eye in her throat.
It's spreading.
We'll just cut that out. That's the magic of editing. I was going to say that of what's on this list.
Are you trying to think of anything on this list that's a slow burner?
Yeah, maybe Stars Born is the closest one.
Probably because of Shallow.
Point made.
I mean, I went into the gas station yesterday after work and Shallow was playing in there. I feel like, even if that's
timeless.
like 99% of the thing people are remembering from that movie.
I mean, it's gonna win best
doing
song
the
for a reason.
It's doing the it's making it work.
Honestly, when it comes to A Star Is Born, that's my personal front runner right now to win.
Yeah,
Mine
if I look
too.
at this list of nominees, the movie I most enjoyed is probably A Star Is Born.
Either A Star Is Born and Black Panther, but I'm not really thinking that Black Panther is going to win. But yeah, for me, I would probably choose between that and A Star Is Born.
Oh my god!
But it, but it really has. When it comes to A Star Is Born, like it really has kind of dropped in terms of buzz. Like I don't.
Well, yeah, I mean it was the immediate. Well, I mean I guess we'll get to Star Is Born, but
Yeah.
it is interesting to see how that was the front runner when it came out. Everybody loved it, but it hasn't won a single Best Drama, Best Picture award yet, and I don't think it will.
It's gotten close to winning Best Actor and Actress. We'll get to that as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody.
yeah.
Favorite is next.
Yeah, I mean that's not a surprise.
No.
Pretty much every other ceremony, it's among, if not the most nominated film.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a surprise in terms of that, but I don't.
Kyle's not very hot on it.
I think it's fine. I think the performances are good. It has good writing. It's shot well. I just don't get it personally, but I have.
I mean,
said,
that
I
sounds
have
like a
said
pretty good movie to
before-
me.
I have said before, like it's also not in my wheelhouse, so that can be a part of it. But
I liked it a lot.
biasm aside, like I just was not getting
I
it.
thoroughly enjoyed it, but the more I reflect, part of me, I can't tell for sure how much I enjoyed it is a result of seeing it the day after I saw Mary Queen of Scots, and just because they're both period pieces with fancy
Yeah.
costumes, and it's just so much better than that movie.
Sure.
You know, in my
You
head,
did
I'm
not
like,
really enjoy that Queen of Scots one.
God no, one of the worst movies of the year. I mean, it's not a terrible movie, but of the movies I saw,
One of the dullest.
it was one of the movies where I wanted to. I would have been really happy if it just the projector cut out and we had to get refunds and I could just go have an extra hour of my evening.
Go watch The Favorite again.
But yeah, I mean, no surprise there.
Yeah. I think The Favorite is becoming a darling of way inside the industry for some reason, but I don't think commercially outside of it people are like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
Like I think Shape
totally.
of Water was also kind of that way, but then people saw it and they're like, okay, I can see why this
Yeah.
has an air of commerciality about it, but The Favorite doesn't have that, and it's a tough sell in small markets.
Oh, I think it's a tough sell just about anywhere, really.
so
It's really for a niche market.
it is.
Kinda. I mean, I get exactly what you're saying. It's just funny because, you know, this director's previous two movies, like, that kind of put him on the radar were just so much more this than The Favorite is. And so when I saw The Favorite, and a lot of people are like, this is actually really accessible Yorgos Lanthimos movie. So that's kind of been in my head, like, oh, maybe this is kind of the most mainstream.
So they're like
He can
celebrating
get.
it. Oh, because this guy usually makes weird
Well,
movies.
very weird, or
So,
very
he
weird.
toned
Was
it. He
weird.
toned it down. Let's praise him for toning it down.
Well, not even praise him, but just more people are just because compared to the other two, this
I thought you were
movie
gonna
is
swear for a second.
compared to the other two movies, a lot more people are seeing this one. But that
I
probably
mean,
just shows
sure.
that not very many people saw the other ones
Yeah.
in their initial theatrical run. The Lobster's kind of taken on a second life on like DVD and on demand
that
stuff.
did
Right.
play. That did play very well on the art circuit series that I did. So The Lobster was good, but I didn't know if it was so good because the film was good or because Colin Farrell was just so good in it.
Oh, both. I love that movie. I still like The Lobster more than Killing of a Sacred Deer and The Favorite.
I feel like Colin Farrell's underrated.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When he does actually good roles.
I always hear
Yeah.
people
I
just
agree with
I
that.
see him described as like a really amazing character actor with the face of a leading man.
Yeah,
Kind of like Brad Pitt in a lot of ways, I feel like.
can be. I
When-
find he's
So a lot of their best roles is more smaller scale, kind of weird.
I feel like he's
characters.
really charming, and there's something about certain actors that they just hold your attention on screen.
Oh,
And
that
even
screen magnetism.
when he's in Fantastic Beasts, I still feel like he is the best character
Mm-hmm.
of them all, and I'm more interested in him. And then and I was disappointed to find out it's Johnny Depp the whole time. But still, I want him to come back because I felt like he did that so well. And if he can do that in a major franchise like Fantastic Beasts, I'm sure on a smaller scale like The Lobster, he's just amazing.
He made the Total Recall remake bearable. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. I saw it in a theater in Norway with English subtitles.
Oh, really?
And I was just like, this movie is,
Barely made it bearable, but yeah, totally.
Green Book.
Yeah, this one is a surprising one. It got
the biggest, or arguably the most controversial Best Picture nominee outside of Bohemian Rhapsody.
But it overcame the odds, Eric. What a story.
This one again is like Bohemian Rhapsody in that it's just meh. You know, it's a meh one, and
it's kind of a schmaltzy.
And the thing is while the critics have,
I liked it a lot.
I think while critics have praised it from the beginning, audiences never really connected.
That's another misleading thing, because if you look at the numbers, it is not among the most like acclaimed, praised Best Picture nominees. Like, it won a lot at these award circuits and stuff.
But when it first came out, the critics did say it was, it got more critical praise than condemnation. And
true, yeah.
And so there's just been this underlying tone with it that the critics really like it, but audiences aren't connecting.
Well, I think it's
the reverse of Bohemian Rhapsody, where it's the feel-good movie for the audiences, but Green Book is the feel-good movie for the critics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still hard for me because I still haven't seen it. Kyle saw it, but
yeah. Best Picture worthy?
Is it like Driving Miss Daisy?
That's what everybody's comparing it to.
Yeah, it has that comparison.
And that usually has a bad underlying ring to it. Like, that's not really a good thing.
Well, in terms of the beats, well, not the beats. I guess there is a reason for why it has that comparison. The real selling points of the movie are Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali.
And see, Viggo's another person.
The screenplay, which is a solid screenplay, and they make you feel for these characters. They make you really invested in this story, in this journey. And I think really because of those performances, that's why the movie is being considered to be one of the best. I like the movie, but I can see the argument for people questioning like why it's really considered to be in the Best Picture category.
Yeah, see, Viggo.
But I think it's really based on the performances. Like that's
interesting because a lot of people now are kind of hating on Viggo. He was because
he made some comments.
It's not even just that. Correct. Just his performance. Like, he has like a very stereotypical, kind of accent that sounds kind of forced, I guess. And
he did fine.
Just it's just interesting, and part of me wonders, like, it seems kind of easy for people if they kind of have a negative bias towards a movie that kind of just extends, and they start seeing negatives in other things. So like, I'm sure Viggo's fine, but a lot of these complaints are coming from people who have problems with the movie itself, so then they extend it to his character.
I mean, I understand the accent. Maybe it's not the best, fine, whatever. But really, Viggo is able to make this character become likable when he isn't in the beginning, and it makes you root him as well as Mahershala's as well as Mahershala's character. And I feel like if a movie can make you see the characters and want to root for them and not so much just see actors being actors, I think that's why it's getting a lot of love.
I think it just boils down to, there's a more niche group who really are not fond of its handling of, race relations and a lot of the tropes, like the magical Negro trope and the white savior trope and all these other things.
You only get acceptance through paid service.
There's that group of people who are not very fond of it. But
that's the whole argument with Driving Miss Daisy, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, okay, Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah, it's a very, very prevalent criticism of the movie. Mm-hmm. But then I feel like an even bigger one, which maybe is kind of the thing mainstream audience are seeing, is that it's just kind of like a little, like I said, kind of a schmaltzy, sentimental, kind of like very feel-good movie. And it's kind of like...
You do feel good by the end.
Kind of like,
I did feel good.
I feel good, but do I really want to feel this good? Like, it's very kind of spoon-feeding, like making you feel really good about it. It's just kind of almost to the point where it starts feeling artificial.
Yeah,
I will give you that. Like, there there can be moments, especially towards the end, where you're like, "Oh, I see. Yeah, they're really wanting me to feel good, and it's working."
Are there any musical passages in the movie with like just very triumphant, inspiring music
or jazz?
Like, see, this is the kind of movie I can see where, like, the string starts swelling and like maybe a singer starts, there's vocals that start playing and it's like the lyrics are just like
the final scene for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, see, I feel like I know the exact feel.
Which I will give you. And then there's another scene like a little bit before that where you could make that argument, but I would disagree.
I feel like the music's going to swell and the camera kind of starts raising up into the sky as the two of them are like joking as they walk or drive away into the distance.
We're buddies
and
now.
then it kind of fades to white or fades to black.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Then you get Randy Newman.
Then you get the little text. You get the little text on the screen like Tony and Don went on to become best friends, which apparently isn't true.
I feel like you have seen this because that line is in there at the end.
See, this is what I'm saying. It's the most, kind of like Bohemian Rhapsody. It's just a very by the numbers, safe movie that tackling very complicated issues
but
in a very
instead of audiences like
superficial
critics
way.
Do.
It's like fondant over a cake. It's really super sweet and it's made to look good, but it's not necessarily great when you eat it.
It's like the best. It's like if Albertsons made a bunch of their cakes, this one just came out the prettiest. You know? It's still a mass-produced, very not the best quality, but it looks nice.
But it looks nice. So after Green Book, we have Roma.
Yep.
I will save my hatred for this for another time.
You have to explain your hatred for this movie.
I've explained it
you haven't
so
even
many
seen.
times.
I know, but you haven't seen the movie, so people might get confused. They're like, "How do you hate this movie so much if you haven't even seen it?"
I'm not racist or anything. I just hate Netflix, and that's the distributor.
Yes, it comes down to an industry thing.
It comes down to that Netflix wants to use awards to legitimize their movies and their movie industry, but they don't want to actually play the movies in theaters, which is the whole point of movies, I think, in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely. I would agree.
And so
partially
to qualify for awards, they hand select a few independent theaters and then they play it for the bare minimum required run to get them in their awards, and then they stream it on Netflix. So, and I'm not so mad at Netflix. Obviously, they want their own model. I get what they're doing. I'm more mad at creatives like Alfonso Cuarón who side with Netflix and then come up with some stupid excuse like, "Oh, I wanted audiences to actually see my movie."
I feel like it's getting a little personal.
No, he has the power. He won an Academy Award for Gravity. He has the power and the clout to be able to have his movie in theaters. He can't say there wasn't a studio that wasn't going to distribute his film.
I mean, if Netflix was the one paying the highest bidder to get that movie, I think
greedy.
I
mean, even its theatrical run though, it was like one of the most profitable foreign subtitled films in years during its theatrical run.
And Alfonso has come out and been like, I know for a fact like there's not going to be an audience,
I don't know,
unlike my past movies that are going to go out and see this.
But really, it's like, oh, Netflix just paid me the most. I need to come up with an excuse that doesn't make me look like a greedy bastard
so
over it.
I'm going to go with the more optimistic way. I think he made a very personal autobiographical film that he wanted to make for a long time. Now he was at the point in his life where he felt like he could make it. He was very proud of it and probably couldn't really care less about if it made a lot of money. He just wanted people to see it.
Then why didn't he go with the studio and actually play it in theaters?
Because people wouldn't. I mean, it's not hard to believe that people aren't. It's not going to be the #1 box office performer of the weekend.
If you just said he doesn't care about making money and he just wanted people to see it, there is a targeted core audience that would have gone out and seen something that good. Yeah, people are seeing The Favorite. Maybe. I don't know why.
Yeah, but The Favorite's in color. It's in English. It has recognizable established actors.
Do you remember The Artist?
Make that much money.
The Artist was a black and white film.
Yeah, it was a silent film.
Yeah, and it did
a French film.
It did amazing, and
it's kind of a novelty film, though. People are like, these movies haven't been made in 80 years.
That's how you market it too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. It's a very different type of movie. It's a very, it's like a personal, just an artist's personal reflection on his childhood. And
And I don't think that he shouldn't make it or it shouldn't be on Netflix. I don't think you should get to use awards for industry to legitimize your business model.
I feel like that.
But then you're mad at Netflix. Then.
Yeah, that's on Netflix. Alfonso, he just made a movie and he happened to make a really good movie.
It's okay.
It's probably just okay.
I mean, it's
my emotional impact of it. Yeah, I thought it was good, but it's a very beautifully crafted movie.
It is beautifully crafted. I will give it that. Like it's gonna
direction, cinematography, sound design, performance. You know, the dialogue, the understated drama of everything. You know, it's a very, very beautifully put together movie.
Yeah, I guess you don't see other filmmakers like Spielberg or who am I thinking of? No. James Cameron going to Netflix. They want their movies in theaters.
Well, Spielberg has come out and said that he doesn't want to go down that route.
Yeah, Spielberg's a very, very hard line against the Netflix thing.
Right,
there's also
but I'm saying that
juggernauts like Martin Scorsese.
I just don't think Alfonso is part of this. You know,
and I don't like Scorsese either, and he hasn't made a good film in a long time.
Ouch,
that's
brutal.
not true. But
we will debate that another time.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
it's been a while since
it's been 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. A lot of directors don't even make a movie every 4 or 5 years. But anyways, I don't think Alfonso is at fault. He just made a personal project. He happened to go with Netflix because he wanted more people to see it. I feel like
I just feel like that's such a hollow excuse. Oh, I want more people to see it. Well, he can't guarantee more people will see it. We never get numbers.
I feel like you can.
So you can't debate it. Like,
I feel like you can though.
I don't.
For the type of movie it is,
you never get numbers from Netflix. You have no idea.
I know, but it's on Netflix forever. You know, it's there. People, this is just, it's not the type of movie that a lot of people are going to pay money out of pocket to go see. If it's on Netflix, most people, when they see movies on Netflix, that's the same thing as seeing it for free. You know, yeah, they pay the monthly subscription, but it's on Netflix. They can just watch it in the comfort of their own home. They don't have to pay money. If they turns out they don't like it, they don't feel like they wasted money on a ticket. They're not going to go spread negative word of mouth to people. I feel like it was a very logical decision that he made. You know, I'm with you mostly on the industry side. I think most people should want to see movies in the theater. Mm-hmm. And as a result, studios should want to put their movies in the theater. I guess I'm just kind of trying to defend Alfonso because
it wasn't his responsibility for this to be nominated.
He's a beautiful person. You know, I love his movies. He has a very, very, very good outlook on things. And I recognize that this was just like a passion project that he needed to make. And
well, maybe we should remember that next time he wants to make a movie for the theaters. Be like, where were you, Alfonso, with your passion project?
I'm sure the next movie he makes,
Netflix.
If it's semi-accessible to the mainstream, it probably will be in theaters.
Or whatever studio gives him the highest bidder as well. Like, it's all a bidding war as well.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, Gravity was the last movie he made. If he already proved, you know, he's not against going with studios. They know it's a movie that's going to be commercial or has the potential to be commercial. With Roma, I can't blame him for thinking that there is no way this movie is going to make a lot of money at the box office. There's just, you know, it's the kind of movie it is. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, I guess there's like two parts to that argument. Either he doesn't care about the money at the box office, and therefore it doesn't matter if it plays because he doesn't care about the money, or he does care about the money and he felt like he was getting the better deal at Netflix. Either way, he sold out for money.
I don't think so.
It doesn't seem like the type of guy that
he's not.
Out.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe that's where he's duping you guys.
No,
because there are other main big directors with a lot of clout that don't put their movies on Netflix. So
we're seeing more and more each day that
I know, but there's
upcoming directors are doing not the Netflix route as well.
This is a ironic statement, but it's not black and white. You know, like it's not black and white. I feel like, you know, it's just a director who was presented an option that wasn't really available in even 4 years ago. All of a sudden, this is a new option. It coincides with a very specific type of movie, and the match made the most sense.
So anyway, back to the Oscars.
It's probably going to win Best Picture. It's a good movie. It's a very, very well-made movie. I don't love it. I don't love it.
Yeah.
No surprise whatsoever that it's nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, Eric, I have to be right there with you, too. I mean, it is really well crafted. I get what he was going for. It's shot beautifully. Like, it's definitely... But it's just a type of storytelling that I'm not completely fond of. I wasn't as attached as I think many, many other people were, leading to it being why it's been nominated for so much. But I do get it.
Part of me also wonders how many people, and this is just like a cynical
really
thinking out loud, well, just personally internalized it and loved it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that, which is very prevalent, are people, especially with auteur directors, you know, they're like, oh my God, this is like, they're praising the director more than the movie itself.
It could be.
So, I don't know.
And
I feel like our takeaway is probably the majority.
Yeah.
I feel like most people are like, yeah, that movie's beautifully made. I was a little bored sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
There were some really beautiful scenes. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, because we're the smartest people, obviously.
We're the experts.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, A Star Was Born.
I always love our Roma and Netflix conversations. Like, it probably sounds like the people that were like always mad at each other for talking about it, but
no, it's just a very complicated industry.
I do love talking about it.
Because like I'm saying, this wasn't an issue 3 years ago,
and it really goes to the heart of like these questions we got to ask. Like, are we making movies to see in theaters? Is it about the experience? Is it about the movie? Is it about the emotions? And do those emotions, are they better executed by viewing them in a theater or not? I mean, you were talking about the whole exhibition industry, and then you've got the creative side, which are the people that actually make the films, and then you've got
which is how they all get voted.
Yeah, and you got the studio side, which is the people that distributes them and puts the money up for them. And obviously, distribution doesn't want to go through exhibition anymore. They want to cut out the middleman. And you like to sit here and hope that all the people on the creative side get into that industry and create stuff to see their movies in theaters. But what I'm thinking now as we move forward is they don't care. I mean, they really could care less. So now you've got 2 of the 3 industries really not caring about exhibition at all. And what does that mean for the future? I do think how consumers
it's a very
enjoy and
it's like a very philosophical question.
Yeah, because if the creative side, if that's not your partner anymore, if you don't get into it for this experience, what is your experience? And is it just, I can see where they like places like Netflix, because Netflix turns out 100 movies a year, and you got back-to-back paychecks and stuff. So I get like their future is really going to be closely tied to Netflix and this idea of this enormous output that Netflix can do that exhibition can't get through. You can't get through that many movies and have them do well and all that in theaters all the time. There's a whole lot of other politics at play there.
Oh yeah.
So I get it, but I can't help but sit here and look at the love that Roma is getting on this and just feel so slighted for exhibition that, the creative side is just giving out all this praise for a film that no one else gets to have any.
Yeah, I understand it completely.
Yeah,
and that's why
anything good comes from it.
I'm with you on the exhibition business side of it. I've always gone to the movie theater. It is by far the best way to experience a movie. Mm-hmm. But it's just we're now in a time that's never been like this before. And there's a lot of questions being raised that we do not have answers for yet.
Right. So we hash it out here amongst ourselves, but this is a big crisis happening, especially as
it's a game changer from here on out.
As distribution, the studios move to having their own streaming platforms, and what does this mean for exhibition, and really what does it mean for the relationships between the 3? Like, is distribution going to be able to keep their thumb on exhibition like they have been in the past? Like, well, we supply all of them, the media for you, so we get to make all the rules. Well, you're not supplying media for us anymore. We're going to go out and find our own.
Yep.
What does this mean for alternative content and other independent filmmakers? And I don't know, just a lot of questions.
Chaos.
But it's just sad to see, like, I'm sure Roma's a great film. I'm not picking on Roma in general. It's just the idea that Netflix got 10 nominations. Like, they tied for The Favorite for the most nominations.
Yeah, when it had just the most bare bones.
Yeah, it had...
You know, just obligatory theatrical run. Just like, okay, let's get this over with. Now we can legitimize ourselves.
Right. And I get mad at the creative side for enabling that behavior because I feel like it's so lecherous. Like they're just leeching off of what it is taken 100 years to build and legitimize.
No, I get it. And that's why I love this eternal philosophical film-related question. You know, I don't know. It's interesting. It gives you something to think about.
That being said, Roma's probably going to win Best Picture.
Yes.
Yeah, and this doesn't help. This does not help the Academy legitimize themselves in the future. They just look silly now, and because no one really saw that film. I mean,
a lot of the films that they usually nominate and win, most people don't see.
I know, but this is like continuing that problem, and I don't think nominating Netflix films is going to keep them current or make into the future. I think nominating films like Black Panther that had really long runs, had big word of mouth. Black Panther grew over time because it was just such a good film and it became such an event for people. I mean, you had people
a pretty good movie.
Dressing up at the theater to go to it.
Yes.
I want to see more films like that become these cultural things that unite people, like in these events. Be awarded for that.
Yeah.
That makes people feel like a community.
Part of me, if I'm understanding this correctly, a large part of now that I'm learning, like through you and the business side of it, is that the Oscars should be able to also function as like a second wind for these movies.
Yeah.
So that, when people see that they're getting all these nominations, they're like, oh man, that's the best of the best. I should go check it out. And it gives a nice like adrenaline shot into the industry, into the box office.
Oh yeah. Especially at a time of the year when it's so slow right now.
But I mean, like, everybody who was gonna see Black Panther probably saw it like twice. So like,
I sure did.
Like,
Yeah, it doesn't
I don't
help
know.
the commercial. Like, sometimes it doesn't help the commercial if everybody's went and saw it. Like, if Star is Born were to win, I feel like enough people went and saw it that you won't see a bump in its grosses after it wins. But at the same time, I really can't speak to that because for the most part, even though everybody saw Black Panther, those films have never really won. So we've never had the experience to go and market that, saying this was a phenomenon in the early part of the year. Now it's the winner, and then to go and experience that again. That's just never happened before. So I don't know. Maybe that would give it a big bump. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe everybody's like, oh, I went and saw that. I'll go watch it on streaming now.
I feel like there's just this ever elusive carrot and a stick dangling in front that is a common ground between
Are they rabbits?
very, very good movies that, for whatever reason, don't play or don't perform well, and movies that do perform well that maybe aren't that good, and we don't know why that sometimes happens. It's... I don't know, I feel like there's too many things that we're asking the Oscars to do that
sometimes,
they can, Like, maybe that is just fundamentally impossible. You're never going to be able to find a common ground that
and I'm not saying they
answers all of these.
The Best Picture should always be the most commercial picture of the year. There should be other things to it. Like Black Panther had this whole identity around it. Like people for the first time saw a superhero that looked like themselves and it became this really big thing. I feel like Avatar, when it came out and it was this huge billion-dollar movie, but it also ushered in this whole technological era of 3D.
Oh yeah, theaters have never gone back after Avatar.
So I feel like that needs to be recognized in some way. And I don't know if the Academy, the way that they nominate, the way that they vote, is equipped for that yet.
No, I mean, because it just comes down to this very arbitrary, which one's better than the rest. Yeah. Maybe that. As stupid as this may sound, maybe the best popular film thing might have been onto something where it's not getting at a ranking it against others. It's trying to get at like what encapsulated this year
Eric, no.
You know?
Maybe that's like a better.
I mean, like Black Panther, in many ways, is the movie of 2018. You know, whether or not it's your favorite, whether or not you liked it the most, you know, take your personal preference out of the equation. In many ways, it is the movie of 2018.
If you look at like how much the movie was talked about on social media, or
it was an undeniable event, and yes, we're now in an age where most of the movies are quote unquote events, tentpole things, but it was a true phenomenon.
Right. So. Like it was one that you had to see and then go see with friends. Mm-hmm. And I just want more films to be recognized for that, because I feel like that is at the core of why we go see movies. Is we go to them to get an emotional experience and to share it with others. Mm-hmm. And any movie that can create that on a mass scale should be praised. Yeah. Whether it was Avatar or Black Panther or whatever.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I mean, Lord of the Rings were beautiful, beautiful films with excellent performances. And I
mean, the third one, it won Best Picture. Like against all odds. It's just this high fantasy movie, but against all odds, it did it.
Yeah.
Everybody saw that thing. It's still one of the most talked about movies or series of movies ever. Yeah. People will be watching it for the rest of time.
I feel like Harry Potter's were that way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, there are just certain phenomenons that you need to appreciate, and I feel like
Titanic.
That's what the Academy has missed out on. And I don't know how we capture that again. And I feel like there are some nominees that got left off this list that people wanted to see, that, like Crazy Rich Asians. It captured
the zeitgeist.
And it was fun. Like, oh yeah, people do like comedy, fun, heartfelt comedies again. I don't know. It should be recognized in some way, and it's just not.
Yeah. That was a really, really long conversation about Roma.
Yeah, guys, we didn't even get the Vice.
We haven't even gotten through the Best Picture category.
Oh, we did. We need to talk about Star is Born.
Yeah. Well, A Star is Born.
I mean, we already talked about it a little.
Kind of, yeah. It was the early front runner. A lot of people loved it. It's a good movie. Great movie. Probably won't win.
It should. But it probably won't.
Out of these nominees, I would be happy if it did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was really well done from a first-time director, which is always awesome. Yeah, he had great source material, but he took that source material and made it modern. He really transformed it.
Every classic story needs to be adapted for the new generation.
He got one of the best performances out of
himself,
Sam Elliott. Yeah, that still stays with me to this day.
He should win.
And that film, for whatever reason, maybe it's just because it really works for American audiences, but I still think about it, and I don't know, feel things about that film. When you bring up Star is Born, I feel all the sadness of losing the character, and all the the depression and the angst of going through that, and all the happiness for Lady Gaga's character becoming the star. Like, you just still feel that when you read the title.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't know why other people are forgetting, but I haven't.
I think they just got so caught up in the controversy around Bohemian Rhapsody and now Green Book, and
I mean, there was a lot that happened afterwards, I guess.
They forget that was just a good film with no controversy, that had great performances, that was overall done very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We haven't seen a movie like that win Best Picture in what it feels like a long time, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just a very well-made, welcoming movie. Every part of it's enjoyable, well done. Everybody likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Vice, we talked a little bit about that as well.
Yeah.
We don't get why it got so many nominations. Like Erik,
it's not like it got a whole lot of critical love. It's a pretty average to mixed received movie. Yeah. First of all, take Christian Bale's amazing performance out of the equation, which is kind of hard because the movie's about Dick Cheney. Yeah, for Sam Rockwell, for who was in that movie less than Sam Elliott's in A Star is Born. Its performances are great, but I don't know. It's a very, not condescending, but I don't know. It's a very cynical movie that just fills in the gaps with way too much sarcasm, and I don't know. It just tries to deflect the fact that it doesn't really know what it's getting at.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why it's getting so much love. Yeah.
Again, maybe the
I don't get
performances
it
are
either.
what's carrying it.
Yeah. I'm sure you could make an argument for the whole political stuff too, whatever. But
Yeah, but that's what's tough about it is because we can't play it everywhere. The political leanings of it being more liberal.
well, it's an incredibly liberal movie,
Yeah.
but that's ironically I feel like it's a movie that more conservatives would enjoy than you would really think, Like
No, I don't.
Because they make
Sorry.
it's I don't
they don't make
it's a-
Dick Cheney so
it's a
bad.
complicated thing. Yeah, it just kind of you watch the movie and you recognize that Adam McKay hates Dick Cheney. Like it's supposed to be the scathing takedown of Dick Cheney, but he doesn't do a very good job of it, and it kind of becomes obvious, that
Right.
he just doesn't know enough about Dick Cheney, and the personal bias becomes way too obvious, and people don't really like that. They don't
Right.
like. I don't know.
should have more
They can
facts
kind of see.
behind
They can
it.
kind of see through it. It's like, yeah, you don't have a whole lot of facts, but you really don't like them, and so you're gonna use a lot of crazy, weird humor, which is always funny. But I don't know. It's just not a very good movie. It's very entertaining, but it's not a very good movie.
So should this bring us into the best actor category?
Yeah.
Yeah. So first best actor is Christian Bale for Vice. and-
Absolutely should be nominated. No doubt. He's always amazing.
yeah. And that's what everybody says about Vice. Like that, if they're like, why should I book Vice? It's like, so you can see Christian Bale as Dick Cheney. That's pretty
Yeah.
much it. The next is Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born. I feel like this is really just telling Bradley Cooper, stay in your lane, buddy. You're an actor. We'll nominate you for being an
Your
actor.
movie was good, but we gotta nominate the legends.
You're not quite.
You can't play with the big
yet.
boys yet.
Yeah, but you did a really good job your first time.
Maybe one day you'll get there.
Yeah, but stay in your lane. But you'll get a
Keep
little
it up.
recognition.
But
Yeah,
no,
You
I thought he was.
actor, you.
I'm happy to see him nominated though.
In
He
terms
was-
of
he was
acting,
great.
he's my front runner, I think.
Front runner, like in your favorite, or you think will win?
In my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who do you think will win? Oh, well, we'll get through the list real quick. Then there's
Yeah, let's do that
William
first.
Dafoe for Willem. Sorry, Willem Dafoe for At Eternity's
I Met
Gate.
Your Mother.
Oh, yeah.
Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, and Viggo Mortensen for Green Book. Now, I have a question. Is Viggo Mortensen really that actor, or is he the supporting role? Like, is the film...
From what Kyle told me, it's pretty much they're kind of
50-50.
both
It's
leads.
just interesting
But why?
that...
I guess it's from his perspective.
I mean,
so
it's
he
like-
gets the lead actor.
so
I
he
think
gets
that's it.
the lead?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you can make the argument that it's kind of like Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz
Yeah.
in The Favorite. It's a 50-50 split.
It is hard. I'm sure Christian Bale will win, but since this is it's not separating between drama and comedy. Viggo won a couple things. Rami's won a couple now. So I don't know. I feel like it's a toss up between those three. Sadly, Bradley Cooper's not going to get it.
No.
I'm a little surprised that Willem Dafoe got in here.
Yeah.
I thought it would go to. I'm blanking on names
My
right now.
boy
but-
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, actually, yeah,
should've.
Ethan Hawke. I thought it was going to go to Ethan Hawke for First Reformed, but either way, they're movies that I haven't seen, so I can't really say much about them.
Yeah.
But who I would like to win would be Cooper, but I could see it going to Bale or Malik.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. Best actress. Here's one that has one of the biggest surprises.
Yeah, this one's interesting.
So we'll get to that, but I mean, other than her, we have Glenn Close for The Wife, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Lady Gaga, Star is Born, Melissa McCarthy. Can you ever forgive me? All very expected.
Yeah.
No surprises there. But then I'm gonna butcher this name, like Yalitza Aparicio, I think, the main lead in Roma.
Mm-hmm.
She's never acted before. She just, was selected to be in this movie. The movie revolves around her, so she's obviously the lead in it, and she's very good. It's a very understated, subtle, realistic performance.
Yeah.
Kind of feel like she's just playing herself.
Kind of like Lady Gaga, first time actress, first time in a movie, really. She's acted before, but the role is really tailored to her. She's just really playing a version of her early self.
Yeah.
That or just a collection of experiences that anybody in her position could have probably gone through.
Yeah.
But I think
I've caught it.
The big surprise, the big surprise here is that Aparicio, is that how you?
That's how I said it.
So sorry if we're butchering her name, but I think it's surprising that not only is she a first-time actor, first-time nominee, in fact, but like she just has no acting credibility to her. Like at least Gaga had some.
Yeah,
like,
she's an entertainer, you know. At least
she's an entertainer.
Lady Gaga
well.
has won
So the big
a Golden Globe too for American Horror Story.
That's right. Yeah, she has acted before.
Yeah, and been acclaimed for it.
And no one thought of her name even being considered.
This kind of came out of nowhere.
Way out of nowhere. All of the reviews for Roma always praise her. So you know she's been on the radar in terms of like great performances, but I don't think anybody was expecting to see like the actual Oscars. You know, so that's interesting. Most likely it's probably going to go to Glenn Close.
I think it switched from Gaga to Close now.
Well, I don't know, because Glenn Close has beat Lady Gaga, and so has Olivia Colman. I mean, those three.
True. Again, yeah, since it's not separated between
Colman
drama, comedy.
Have won. So I don't know how that's going to come down.
I think it should be a showdown between Glenn Close and Olivia Colman.
Probably. And they probably both are deserving of it. It's like that, you know, whose time is it up more.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
And I don't think anybody is ever going to give Melissa McCarthy her dues, because she's a slapstick comedic actress, and they just don't ever want to praise her for when she does something dramatic and
weird,
really
because
good.
Usually the Academy kind of loves that, you know? Like somebody shattering their typecast and doing something radically different.
She is a pretty solid dramatic actress.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you look deeper into her repertoire, like she actually has some.
She's a good actress. She's a great actress. She just happened to her fame happened to skyrocket because of her improv kind of very raunchy humor.
Yeah. And I just feel like that hurts her a little bit, even though it's undeserving.
Absolutely undeserving.
No, I mean, I've been saying this for a while, that when it comes to the actress categories, like it's a tight race. Like there's more names I can name that should have been nominated in here, but
we talked about it. We're like,
Toni Collette should have.
Yeah.
I mean, she should have been talked about.
She's the best performance of
the year.
And Emily Blunt probably should have been there, if not for Mary Poppins, for Quiet Place.
Yeah, in either category. Like you can make if you're choosing. I think Elsie Fisher from 8th Grade, very underrated performance, very underrated movie as well now.
It didn't get any love here, did it?
No.
Did it
not even for like sound, I don't think. Not for screenplay.
Yeah, it didn't even get a
not for
screenplay
sound.
I don't think it got anything.
Yeah, and I wrote that a few days ago. Like 8th Grade should have gotten a lot more love than.
Yeah, that's why you look at the Independent Spirit Awards for that stuff.
Yeah, true. But
8th Grade and First Reformed will get a lot more love there.
Outside of the lead actress for Roma, like these were all pretty set in stone.
Yep.
But it'll be an interesting race between Glenn Close, Olivia Colman, and Lady Gaga.
It will be.
I kind of hope, this is just me, that Glenn Close and Olivia Colman split the vote and Lady Gaga edges up and just gets it, because everybody kind of splits on the other two.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I can't wait to see her Oscars dress. Sorry, I just love her so much.
And then over to Best Supporting Actor. Mahershala Ali, Green Book. Adam Driver for Black Klansman. And it's Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born.
Yes.
Richard E. Grant, Can You Ever Forgive Me? And Sam Rockwell for Vice.
Why?
So, right off the bat, though, I think all three of us are very happy that Mr. Elliott is getting represented here. Or recognized,
His first nomination ever, which I was totally shocked to learn that.
Yeah, he's like 74 or something. He's been acting for like 5-6 decades.
I thought you were going to say 5-6 years.
No, he's so good, and he's been like a heartthrob and like this.
Oh, he's been everything.
He still is a heartthrob.
Now
he is.
I mean, he's definitely a heartthrob, but he's also
that
just that wise mentor who he has the ansers.
Yeah,
he has the answers.
He was just on an interview with Kimmel.
Oh, I saw
the
that
other day.
Interview.
And
so
he's
good.
so nonchalant about it for it being his first Oscar. He's like, my wife told me that morning that I got nominated. I said, that's cool.
He's like,
I don't want to do a speech.
It was about effing time.
About effing time. He was humble, though, because, he did say, at the end of the day, it just comes down to the process, the creative process. Yeah. And it's nice to be recognized. So.
Well, we all agree. There is that one scene in Star Is Born.
It's like the 5th, 6th episode we brought it up, but it is that good.
Where he looks back and he's reversing out of the driveway in that truck. I'm going
to be like, Sam Elliott, what were you thinking in your head to get that look on your face? What have you seen? What are you remembering?
I know. And just red-rimmed eyes with tears. And it's so moving.
Fighting so hard. fighting so hard to keep them back.
Yeah, that's one of the best scenes in that whole movie.
One of the best scenes of the year.
And it really has just stayed with. It's again. I keep saying Star is Born. There are elements about it that have stayed with me, and that singular performance by Sam Elliott, in the whole movie, but that one scene is just so powerful. I just want him to get it so bad.
Star is Born again.
Yeah,
I only saw it that one time.
I think a lot of people need to.
I need to see it again.
I'm so happy that Adam Driver is nominated on here as well. I was hoping John David Washington would.
He would have gotten Best Actor, but he was always kind of an underdog.
I could see Mahershala Ali being the one to win this, but I
sure
hope to heck that Sam Elliott wins.
Me too. And
Sam Rockwell doesn't need to be in here too. That should be Timothée Chalamet. Just saying.
Yeah. I think it's just like, oh look, he's being Bush.
Yeah. I mean, I rooted for Rockwell last year. I was
he deserved it. He was in the movie.
Yeah.
He's barely in Vice. He's good, but as is kind of the main problem with Vice, it's funny but kind of substanceless.
You know, Richard E. Grant has been winning.
He has. No, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna if it's not Mahershala, it'll be him.
Ugh, no, I really hope everybody just recognizes Sam Elliott and be like, you know what, we got to give this guy his due. And this is a good role to do it on.
Oh, yeah. I could see it being a Glenn Close situation too, to be honest.
What do you mean? Oh, Sam. Oh, like it's his
he's
time.
So beloved
he gets it.
He's so beloved in the industry.
I'm hoping.
And
fingers crossed.
I know many people didn't see Beautiful Boy, but Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, he's
great
got
performance.
He's already has so many amazing performances under his belt. He's gonna have a great career.
Yeah,
he's gonna be around our whole lives, hopefully. And
hopefully.
I'll be looking forward to every single one.
I don't
know
why we're saying that. He hasn't done anything bad.
Yeah, but you never know.
True.
Could
go off the deep end.
Best Supporting Actress. Amy Adams for Vice. I swear Amy Adams has been nominated like 10 years in a row. She's always nominated.
She's going to be the...
the Leonardo DiCaprio.
Or what's the female equivalent? Not Barbara Streisand.
Glenn Close?
No, not Glenn Close.
Are you talking about Meryl Streep?
Yes, she's going to be the Meryl Streep where
Except she's not winning them all.
So yeah, Amy Adams for Vice. Marina de Tavira for Roma. Big surprise. Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz for The Favorite.
Yeah. I mean, this once again, the actress categories are so stacked.
Yeah.
But I was very surprised to see the woman from Roma get this last spot. Everyone else is not a big surprise, though.
No, they've all been nominated in other.
Yeah, Regina King's won pretty much every single time.
Yeah. I think she's going to take this one.
It's pretty much a lock.
I wonder if it's the same situation that I'm hoping will favor Lady Gaga, where some people are voting Emma Stone, some people are voting Rachel Weisz, and the votes getting split, and Regina King is coming up.
Maybe. Very likely.
If you had to choose between Emma Stone or Rachel Weisz, which one would take it?
I've already gone on record as saying Rachel Weisz. Yeah. What about you, Kyle? I know you don't love the movie, but between the two of them, which character did you enjoy more?
No, not to color you, but Emma Stone did go on Graham Norton show and say that her corset shifted her organs during that filming.
That's
for the short time.
Holmes.
Very, very dedicated.
I love the Graham Norton
show. I think in terms of the performance, in terms of the performance, it would go to Weisz. Is that how I pronounce it, Weisz?
I have no idea.
I don't know why I'm asking now. But yeah, I think I would give her the edge.
Yeah, cool. Best director.
This category, I'm bummed.
Well, we've got Spike Lee for BlacKkKlansman,
Pawlowski.
Yeah, thank you for Cold War. Yorgos Lanthimos. Lanthimos for The Favorite. Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, and Adam McKay for Vice.
Well, it's gonna go to Cuarón for Roma.
Yeah, it will. I'm annoyed that Adam McKay's in there.
I'm annoyed that half of them are in there,
and I'm annoyed that Bradley Cooper's not in there.
I can't argue with Spike Lee being in there.
Burnham is not on. God, 8th grade.
I can't argue with Spike Lee being in there. I can't argue with
Spike Lee. Awesome.
Alfonso being in there.
Fair enough.
I haven't seen Cold War. I haven't, and I definitely don't think Adam McKay should be in there. So to me, it's just it's more interesting than upsetting.
I just think there's others that you could consider have more of a chance, or not a chance, but more of a reason to get in than.
Yeah.
But that's
I would have to see Cold War to know, but it's just other than that, I can't really. Other than the Cold War, I can't argue with the other three. Vice or Adam McKay should not be in there.
The majority of what I've heard of Cold War is that it's a black and white film that's good, but it's nothing. I don't know. That's just.
I mean, I've heard
that's just from the circles that I hear from.
It's one of the most acclaimed movies of the year, easily. It's another black and white movie. It's based on the director's parents' courtship, I think, which could be beautiful. But yeah, I just haven't seen it, and I feel like most people haven't seen it.
Oh, most people have not seen it. That's why it's such a surprise too, because they're like, "What?"
I think I would like to see Spike Lee win for this. Out of all the people,
it was a very good job he did.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Even though I don't like Alfonso Cuarón right now, I want Spike Lee to win just because it's been so long since he came back, and he came back with something that was so topical and so well done for the
firing on
environment
all cylinders
today.
Yeah.
Get Adam McKay out of there. Bring in anybody else, and then I'd be happy.
Yep.
Right.
Were there other ones that we wanted to talk about?
Well,
too?
the other major ones are the screenplay ones.
Okay.
Yeah, but we should talk about animated feature.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Best animated feature was Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I'm happy because I'm confident Spider-Man's gonna get it.
I really hope it does.
I'm pretty confident he'll get it.
I'm confident too. In second place would probably be Incredibles 2 because Oscars do love having Disney.
They always give it to Pixar,
Yeah.
or they used to.
I think this is the one year though where you can't ignore how fantastic Spider-Man is.
I mean, my ranking goes Spider-Man, Isle of Dogs, then Incredibles 2. But
oh yeah, I forgot that you saw that one.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, I'm confident Spider-Man will win, and I really want Spider-Man to win. That's the best superhero movie of the year, if you ask me.
It is. I completely agree with you.
For Best Picture. Well, I guess
that could be that 10
maybe
spot.
just use your 10 slots and nominate Spider-Man.
They should use their 10 slots. I think that would be more fun for us to
Kyle
talk
and I
about.
were talking because, again, their ranking thing is so weird. It probably just mathematically, there just isn't 10 movies that end up getting enough points to qualify.
That's why we usually see more of the 8 to 9 movies. And
you know what it is?
The
average moviegoer only sees at most like 6 movies a year, so they probably,
if that.
So I would think if you extrapolate that to even people in the industry, they probably maybe only see 8 movies, and that's they pick the movies they've seen.
I'm waiting for those anonymous letters. The people in the industry, the professionals, they don't see movies.
They don't.
I remember a couple of years ago when 12 Years a Slave came out. Like after it won, I believe it won for Best Picture. Some people came out who were part of the voting committee, and they were like, "We did not see that one, but we felt like we should nominate it," and that caused a big uproar.
Yep, I remember. And if just one letter came out explicitly saying that, there's hundreds. Maybe
the voting body
dozens.
is so huge.
So many people are doing that.
It's 9,000 plus.
They probably don't really care. It's just something they have to do for their job. It's like they're probably trying to leave the office for the weekend, and they're like, "Oh wait, I gotta fill this thing out. Just give it to that. I didn't see that, but I like them in their last movie. Give it to them.
Yeah,
sucks, but that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway,
on to the screenplays, and that probably is the last of the major ones. Yeah. Original screenplay, we have The Favorite, First Reformed, Green Book, Roma, and Vice. Just Vice, get out of there. First Reformed, obviously, I'm on record. That's what I think is the most deserving and the best of these nominees. I think it's probably gonna go to Green Book.
Based on what I saw, I would say Green Book has the best screenplay out of these.
Really? I would think that Favorite would get it.
Favorite is my second favorite.
It's the movie is fine.
I know, but the whole story about how Favorite got made was because they had this like quirky screenplay with a lesbian
she's been working on it
drama
for 20 years.
Yeah. So I feel like everybody kind of knows that backstory. So I kind of my pick is Favorite.
Yeah, I think it might win.
I don't blame you. I think that
honestly, I think because of First Reformed's other wins and seeing that it's actually nominated here, thank God. It is a toss up between Favorite, First Reformed, and Green Book. I feel like Green Book's gonna get it.
Based on what I saw, I would just vote for that one to win.
Blah. I'm just kidding. I still haven't seen it.
We're gonna put out our Oscar sheets.
I'm gonna make an alternate
want to
Oscars.
see.
Not only is this who I wanted to win, but this is objectively who should win.
That would actually be really fun to do.
This is the
I think
right
we're gonna
way to do
that.
this.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll see who's right.
And then adapted screenplay, another Netflix, Coen Brothers, Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which I don't think anybody saw coming.
No.
Black Klansman, Can You Ever Forgive Me, If Beale Street Could Talk, and A Star Is Born.
What's funny is that no one saw it coming, but yet it's a Coen Brothers written movie.
Yeah.
So normally you would be
They're
like,
always
oh, of course.
winning. They've gotten like 7, 8 nominations or something
So
for
normally you would be
screenplays.
like, oh, of course this would get nominated. But I think it's because it was on Netflix and wasn't
Well, and it's
talked
just a
about too
weird movie.
much.
You know, it's an anthology movie,
It
and
is,
those
yeah.
are not very common. You know, like 5, 6 short little stories in one. You know, you don't really think of that. But here it is. It's the Coen Brothers. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's kind of on us for forgetting about it.
Yeah, totally.
As for who I think will win,
I think it goes. Oh, geez, it's actually a tight category to be honest.
I'm gonna say Black Klansman or Can You Ever Forgive Me?
I can
Based on past winners.
There's an argument that A Star Is Born should get that. I think there's a lot of love for Beale Street's screenplay more than the movie itself, and I feel like that could win as well. And the Coen Brothers.
I don't have a clear
I'm
shot.
gonna go with Can You Ever Forgive Me just because I can't
Excuse
make
me.
a good guess.
I just want A Star Is Born to win.
Something other than song, which it's guaranteed.
I have to opt out. I don't know.
I feel
I
like
really
if Beale
can't
Street Could
decide.
Talk kind of got way sidelined by Annapurna in favor of Vice. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of what happened.
Oh yeah,
Because they
it
both came
definitely
out
did.
around the
I
same
mean,
time.
Beale
No,
Street Could
Vi-
Talk got way better reviews.
Calling
Yeah.
you out, Annapurna.
You know, it.
It was Vice was Annapurna's main priority.
Which makes sense.
It was
So
their
weird how
widest
that-
release.
so
They
weird
were
how that
pushing
works,
it.
though. It's just so. Ugh, I don't know.
Well,
Corporate-y.
I
Well,
thi-
looking on the outside,
yeah,
you
if
would.
I,
You
No,
would
it makes perfect sense why they would do that.
yeah,
But by all
and-
accounts, Beale Street is just a way better movie.
and it was
I'm
Adam
actually gonna
McKay's
see-
movie after Big Short. You would think that the quality was going to be there, given the performances, and when you got that little snippet of a short
Yeah.
from the trailer, you were like, "Yeah, this is going to be good." So I get why Annapurna did it. It's just I think people forget that it was so liberal leaning, it couldn't play everywhere, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, and then
Yeah.
if Beale Street was so, I don't know, like narrow in its audience scope that it couldn't play everywhere.
Maybe. I mean, like, from the looks of it, it's just a really beautiful love story. I feel like that would be a little bit more accessible. But,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm going to be
whatever.
able to see Beale Street in 2
Oh,
weeks.
yeah. Me too.
It's finally going to be coming here, so
I'm excited.
I'm going to check that out.
So
yeah, those
the
are the
only
major
other
awards.
one I wanted to talk about was documentary, only because I'm really excited for Free Solo getting a nomination.
Yeah, that movie is a ridiculous accomplishment. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still just distracted. I don't understand how Won't You Be My Neighbor isn't even
Right.
nominated.
That's the biggest
That doesn't make
snub.
any sense to
That's
me.
probably the biggest snub of this year's Oscars.
One of the best movies of the year, one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. You know, everybody, as far as documentaries go, that was like a blockbuster.
Right.
I think this goes to show that this was a good year for documentaries.
It was an incredible year.
I mean,
for
we're also
documentaries.
forgetting about three Identical Strangers, which is also pretty beloved this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
It was a good year, but I am shocked that one
of all
like,
the
best
snubs,
movies.
of all the snubs, that one was the most like what?
Yeah.
Yeah. And most people are commenting on it. I just am excited that Free Solo made it in there because it was very like under the radar, and
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
we
it
played
was.
it did so well on the locations
Because
we
it's
played
like
it.
you know, you see it and it's like just the spectacle because it's it's a
Yeah.
real guy doing a real thing. It's like how the
And it's like this incredible, like
Like, you gotta
climbing
see this to believe it.
2,000-foot cliff face without ropes.
Yeah.
Is just
Some
mind
people-
blowing.
some people.
It makes you like nervous just talking about it. I kept not knowing what these other films are, except for that they have race related,
Social,
social-
socioeconomic
yeah.
kind of
I kind of
themes.
want Free Solo or RBG to win because that's
Yeah.
the one we actually played every place, other than Won't You Be My Neighbor, which we played everywhere. Like that was,
Yeah.
and that one did so phenomenally good.
20+ mil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was, but it just played in small towns so well. Like
Mhm.
people just wanted,
because you go there and you leave
A
the
legitimate
theater
feel
wanting to
good.
be a better person.
yeah,
Nobody can resist that movie.
no, and you want
Take
to
the
be
most broken, cynical, cold-hearted, bah humbug person. You show them that movie, they're gonna be having tears coming out of their eyes. They're gonna hug their
He finally
mother.
lets it out.
Oh,
right. No, it's
It'll
really
heal the
sad, and
world.
it's not artificial. It's not
No.
like Green Book where you're made to feel that
Yeah,
way.
you
at the
watch
end.
it and you're like,
yeah.
how is this guy real?
He was a treasure.
Absolutely.